So when it comes to men and status, one of the first signals we pick up on is the color of clothing. In particular, the authority colors of black, navy, charcoal, blue, and white. In fact, no other outfit in the Western world is considered more powerful than a man wearing a dark-colored suit with a white shirt and necktie. That being said, there are other nuances involved, and if you understand them, you can put together some great clothing combinations that are anything but boring and can even be made up of casual pieces. One of the first nuances is to understand the importance of tailoring and fit. When clothing fits on the body, those clean lines telegraph competence, intelligence, restraint, and control. In fact, you could argue from a distance they're going to actually make out your silhouette before they see the color of your clothing. And even more casual clothing like athleisure or a sweater jacket, if well-fitted and suiting your body type, well, these tailored, well-fitted pieces, especially if using the colors I mentioned earlier, well, when combined tastefully, can give you a subtle, high-status appearance. Now, what about other colors, especially the brighter colors, red, orange, yellow? Well, you want to bring those in as accent pieces. Perhaps you notice on my outfit here, the dominant color is going to be the blue. It's the jacket that's on the outside, and I have the brighter colors underneath that I layer over. Another subtle detail with this outfit that maybe some of you guys picked up on is the use of texture. So I'm wearing a cashmere sweater that has just a really nice hand to it. Overall, when you touch it, that napped surface is very soft, and it contrasts the smoothness of the wool jacket it's right next to. Now, my pocket square right here has a different texture. Now, a lot of pocket squares you're going to see out there are made from silk or linen. This one is made from a microfiber. It can also be used as a cleaning cloth. But the point I'm wanting to hit on is this one has a very smooth texture to it, more of a sheen. In combination, these three different textures give a bit of depth to the outfit, again, giving a very overall classy feel to the outfit. And really quick, I don't want this video to come off as pompous or arrogant. No, what I'm trying to do here is give you tools that you can use to leverage the fact that human beings use heuristics to make sense of the world around them. As you probably know, because you're a busy person yourself, we use mental shortcuts, aka heuristics, all the time to make sense of the world. So in that way, signaling you're a man of class isn't showing off. No, it's simply a form of nonverbal communication. Without saying a word, you're pointing out that first up, you treat yourself with respect. No, you care about how you represent yourself. You've got the self-respect that you want to put your best foot forward. You dress in a manner that shows respect to those around you. You know that you represent your family when you walk out your door. You understand the power of visuals and you leverage them to your advantage. Next up, let's talk about the importance of accessories. Now, straight up, you don't have to have an expensive watch, but if you choose to wear a watch, I would advise you to choose something that's simple, clean, elegant, and versatile. I personally like something that's a solid metal, that's water resistant, with a simple, clean dial that's versatile enough to be able to be worn with a suit or with a t-shirt and jeans. Sport watches, rubber bands are great, but I do think they're a lot more casual, and I would reserve them for the gym. Now, pens are another interesting area where you can really level up and signal class, especially if you're having people sign things. If you're a lawyer, if you're a realtor, if you're a consultant or business person where the signature is really important, consider picking up a pen that whenever you hand it, whenever you loan it to people, they feel its weight. It's a small, old school detail, but people pick up on it. Just make sure they don't steal your pen. Now, this next accessory goes hand in hand with professionalism. And if you see a guy carrying one of these, what do you instantly know? He means business. Guys, I'm talking about the classic briefcase. Now, over the last 2 decades, I've helped thousands of men find the right briefcase, and again, I point them towards leather. It's a proven material that screams luxury and is incredibly durable, and if taken care of, will last you a lifetime. I also think it's important that you look for something that is handmade and using full grain leather. Paying attention to the material and to the construction is going to ensure you get a leather bag that's going to outlast you. Seriously, a good briefcase is worth investing in because this could be a family heirloom. This could be something that you pass on to your son, that your grandson finds 50 years from now and says, you know what, this is friggin' amazing. I'm going to make it mine. And with that being said, gents, I want to introduce you to today's sponsor, Criterion Leather. In particular, I want you to go over and check out their briefcases. This one right here is the Brunswick. This modern briefcase is built not only to protect your laptop, but for you to be able to carry everything a modern professional needs. It's got compartments for your keys, your ID, passport, other valuables. Now, this is a classic briefcase, so it comes with the handle right here, but it does come with straps, so you can use that as well if you wanted to carry it that way. And guys, if you're a professional, if you're in the field of law, you are going to appreciate how they've actually designed this briefcase to be able to fit legal pads, contracts, and statutes. Seriously, this bag was designed for the professional to be both functional and incredibly good looking. It's a classic design, and that's why I love this. And guys, let's get into some of the details about the handwork that these guys have put into these bags. What I love about them is I look at the stitching, it's clean, it is compact, which lets me know these bags are made to be used, made to be tough. These bags are made to be durable, but they've also got a classic design. They're using quality leather, so you can rest assured that as the years go on, these bags are going to look nicer and nicer as they start to wear and break in. Highly recommended. Go check them out, guys. I'm putting a link down in the description over to Criterion Leather. Use that link. It will ensure that you get the best pricing they've got on their website. An awesome company, awesome bags. Again, I've had them here. I've been testing them out. These things are absolutely beautiful. Again, use that link I'm putting in the description. Go over to criterionleather.com. Check them out. Amazing company. So the next sign to signal that you have class is to stand upright. Roll those shoulders back. Again, that's why I love sports jackets. Again, I would highly recommend sports jacket, turtleneck sweaters. If you don't have those in your wardrobe, every time I wear this outfit combination, I've got like 5 different colors, turtlenecks, probably like 2 in each color. Every time I wear this combination, I have people give me compliments. And I know not for everybody, but if it works for you. But seriously, the sports jacket is going to work for any guy out there. And what I love is when you put on a structured jacket, you roll your shoulders back. Blazer, sports jackets, suits, all of these were designed to help men look more elegant, more just timeless. It gives you a overall, again, heuristics. Human beings have an idea of what a successful, classy, well-dressed, high-status man looks like. You know what he's wearing most of the time? He is wearing a jacket of some sort. So get that into your wardrobe, but at the very least, whenever you stand up and you look at yourself in the mirror, roll those shoulders back. Get used to doing this because you're instantly going to look taller. Another earlier point that we talked about that builds on this is going with that monochromatic look in a dark color. So monochromatic look, this is when you're wearing trousers and a jacket or a shirt that are very similar in color. What does this do? It allows the eyes to go up and down. You don't want to break up the movement there, and it gives an overall slimmer, taller appearance, which if for most people's minds is going to give that person a little bit higher status. And let me clarify that a bit. It's not so much about the height, but it's the appearance of that slim, clean silhouette, allowing the eyes to go up and down. So you can be 5'2", but if you're wearing a jacket, you are standing up straight, you've got that chest out, you look confident. This is what we're talking about. Now, this next point, I've brought it before, and I think it's fun because visualize yourself when you're walking into a room that you are a panther. How does a panther move? A panther moves slow, steady. He's looking around. He's confident. He's out there. Yeah, he is the hunter. Now, I don't know what you're out there hunting. Maybe it's more business. Maybe you're a single guy. Point being is you walk into that room confident, steady, slow, and you're looking around. You're going in and you've got that confidence. You have that direction. Have that when you walk into a room, whether or not it's simply in your home, whether it's at a networking event, whether it's at work. You're moving around. You also want to slow down in the way that you're speaking. Now, one interesting thing about when you slow down the way that you speak is that people pay a little bit more attention. Whenever you're hurried, whenever you're talking too fast, I know I do this for YouTube, but it comes off as rushed. It comes off as nervous, and that lowers your overall status. In addition, when you slow things down, if you can remember, and the best thing to do is to practice this, can you bring down the pitch just a bit, a little bit deeper? Men with deeper voices are often perceived as stronger, as more masculine. Now, before I get into this next point, there's an old joke. How do you get an Italian to shut up? What? You tie his hands behind his back. Now, I'm sure many of us know somebody that is all over the place. I'm not saying go there, but I am saying that if you keep your gestures in front of your chest area, and don't be afraid to use them, because there's some really powerful research that shows whenever people are using their hands, whenever they're gesturing, people not only better understand them, they better remember them, they view them as a better communicator. And as the speaker, it's easier for you to get your point across. You are viewed as more commanding. You are viewed as somebody that can get the point across and better understood. All of this plays into where you're at. When we view somebody of high status, somebody with class, we view somebody that can communicate clearly And that's whenever you start using gesturing, it can really help you do it better. Now, this next one is a little bit more advanced, but you've seen it happen, and it signals immediately that this person is confident, this person is in charge, this person makes up his own rules. And that is, don't be afraid to better use the space in your area. How many times have you ever maybe spoken to a group and everyone keeps going up to the same place? Maybe people stay seated when they're speaking. Don't be afraid to own the space. And that may be you standing up and introducing yourself, being the first person to do it, having the courage, but realizing, hey, I want to make sure and look around. I want to talk to people. I want to be able to project my voice. Maybe you're up on stage, you're giving a presentation, and you realize, people are all over the place. They're not really paying attention. So get in front of the podium, walk around, talk to people. The person that does this, the person that owns the space, when they're sitting at a table, they're not afraid. I'm not talking about throwing yourself everywhere, but I am saying don't make yourself small. Now, Amy Cuddy and some of her research, I know some of it's been debunked, but there is a lot of strength, I believe, in simply being able to be confident in who you are, own that space. Every time I've seen it, I've always thought, wow, like this guy is walking in, he's owning it. And in my mind, somebody can do this, and I think you'll agree, comes off as higher status, as somebody with class. Next up, let's talk about first impressions. So, whenever you meet somebody, are you actually shaking their hand? Are you the one that's initiating that introduction? Do you quickly introduce yourself? Maybe notice that other people need to be introduced. Somebody that starts to take charge of the room, that sees people across that need to, all of a sudden, even if you're not the host, you come off as the person in charge. These first impressions are so important. People make a judgment of somebody, where they fit in society, where they fit, again, in their mental models very quickly, usually within the first couple seconds. Even if that person doesn't open their mouth, they're making quick judgment just because they're trying to make sense of the world. Whenever you position yourself as somebody that is at a high level, even if it's found out that, yeah, that guy works, whatever it may be, you're a janitor, you're working even though I think those are necessary positions, society sometimes views people in those roles as lower status. People are going to be like, oh, there's something about him. Now, that can't be right. Or, wow, like he must own the company or something like that. And that's a good place to be, because men that have that type of presence, men that use that halo effect, in a sense, all of a sudden they've behaved in a certain way. We look at this, all of a sudden we give them more status, sometimes than is justly deserved, but that's the way human beings think. And there's nothing wrong with using that to your advantage. Next up, let's talk about eye contact. This one's really interesting, especially it changes from culture to culture. Here in the United States, 2 to 4 seconds when you're first starting to talk with somebody. And in general, when you're speaking, when you're talking one-on-one with somebody, 60 to 70% of the time, you want to be maintaining eye contact. If you're listening, just less than half, 40 to 50%. You don't have to maintain those exact percentages. But what you want to note is, are you really off? Are you just always staring at people? This can make a lot of people, especially women, feel uncomfortable. Are you not giving them any eye contact? And this one's big. A lot of people come from cultures, maybe outside of the United States, where making too much eye contact is viewed as disrespectful. Therefore, they don't almost make any, and it comes off as either they're not paying attention or that they are pretty much, at a lower status. You want to make sure, again, you're reading the room, you understand the culture, but eye contact, very important, something that you want to put a little bit of practice into. And, it's something that we fall into old habits. I find that whenever you're walking by somebody, I try just to look people in the eye and to greet everybody. Now, if you're a single man, a lot of you guys are like, hard to make eye contact with a woman. Well, guess what? Practice with everybody else. And then what you're going to find is those women are human, just like everybody else. And when you've put in the effort, it's very easy for you to look at somebody and say, hey, how are you doing? Because guess what? You're not trying to get anything. You're just simply being a friendly human. And this comes off, and people pick up on this. And all of a sudden, you're going to find that, it's a lot easier making eye contact. And practice. Trust me, it works. The only area where you want to be careful is this with other guys, especially if people have been drinking, you're at a bar or something like this. It can come off as a little bit aggressive. So I get in that case, maybe you want to pull back a bit. All right, gentlemen, so what did you think? Learn anything new? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, you are going to love this one right here. I go into more detail. There are many things about respect and confidence I did not cover, which I will cover in this video right here. So go check it out. Solid video. Boom. Right there. Oh, yeah. Okay. See you guys in that next video.